My name's Luck. I'm grateful recovering alcoholic. So let's go over the doctor's opinion, what we've read so far. So we've talked about only psychological measures can be of maximum benefit when the brain is befogged and cleared. We talked about the manifestation of an allergy. We talked about the phenomenon of craving. We've also talked about the psychic change. In order way to have a psychic change, we must what? Work the 12 steps. We've also talked about what's the first rule? Don't drink. Why? Because of the allergy and the phenomenon of craving. And then we also talked about one feels that something more than human power is needed to produce the essential psychic change. So let's continue reading. Page xxix. I do not hold with those who believe that alcoholism entirely a problem of mental control. I have had many men who had, for example, worked a period of months on some problem or business deal which was to be settled on a certain date. It means you was getting ready to do something on a certain date. Favorably to them, they took a drink a day or so prior to that date. Now guess what happens? And then the phenomenon of craving at once became paramount to all other interests, so that the important appointment was not met. These men were not drinking to escape. They were drinking to overcome a craving beyond their mental control. There are many situations which arise out of the phenomenon of craving, which cause men to make the supreme sacrifice rather than continue to fight. So right there it tells me, because this is how I relate. There has been many times in my life where I told myself, I ain't gonna drink, I ain't gonna drug. I got this family thing, I got to meet with my kids on this certain date. I got this business venture, I got this commitment, or even I got this bill paid. You know, I gotta pay rent, I gotta survive. And I shit you not. 2-3 days before that date, I just had a lurking notion to get high. And what happens? I didn't show up for the family events. I didn't show up to the kids. I most definitely didn't pay no bill. Matter of fact, the phone got cut off and I'm up at McDonald's trying to get free Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's me. And the phenomenon of craving kicked in. And by this time, it's done been weeks, but weeks done passed. For some of us, months. And to be honest with you, for some of us, years. Like my story. I made many commitments prior to taking a drink or a drug. And then once I consumed that substance, like we talked about, the allergy, the phenomenon of craving kicked in. And I couldn't stop unless I was forced to stop.